There is an Elder Scrolls 6-sized hole in the gaming sphere right now, and any epic open-world RPG that comes out between now and the heat death of the sun, aka Bethesda's planned release date, has a shot at fully running the table until then. Forsaken Realms, Vahrin's Call, ambitiously steps up to the plate. Does it knock it out of the park, or is this a swing and a miss? Well, neither, but it does get on base. Which one? Well, that's a longer answer. The world here is pretty dense, and that's before you throw in the chaos of lands at war, shifting allegiances, and all that jazz. If you have a hard time keeping up with stuff like that, you may feel a lack of context to everything. I now love Lord of the Rings and Dragon Age, but there was a healthy amount of growing pain before those really clicked with me. There was just so much to them. Forgotten Realms is the same way. If you want something super accessible and easy to follow, then you might struggle. There are loads of proper nouns to memorize without much context or much in the way of introduction, and oftentimes bits of the story are doled out while you're fifth-wheeling a conversation between other folks who don't really care to bring you up to speed. It feels like crashing a party between close friends with years of history, and you have no idea what's going on. A lot of stuff may go over your head. On the flip side, if, say, writing dense stories for tabletop campaigns is more of your jam, then what would otherwise be an opaque wall of lore, for some people will be a juicy bit of high-minded escapism to sink your teeth into. What I'm saying is, sometimes the best experiences take a bit of homework, and if you're willing to slow down and learn about the world at the pace it gives you, then you may find a pretty rewarding experience here. Still, a comprehensive codex would go a long way, and I'm a little shocked there is not one included as of time of writing. You experience the world through the eyes of a character you create. Now, don't go into this expecting something like, say, Commander Shepard, though. By that I mean a protagonist with a defined, well-established past and a glut of opinions about the world around them, a true inhabitor of the world. Your mercenary is a blank slate who mainly acts as a vessel to carry the player around. And, that's a perfectly valid way to approach the player character. You get to project whatever you want onto this blank canvas. That may be the way to go for a mercenary in the world at this time, because you see some pretty messed up stuff goes on here, such as, dead folks bloodied and strung up like a messed up Christmas tree, for example. Kindergarten jazz like that. It's fantasy, but it's pretty dark and leaves little room for joking. Now, the story is one thing, but how does it play? Well, where the world is confident and it knows what it is, the gameplay itself is a little more muddied. There's an open world here, and it has a fair amount of things to do and side quests to complete. I didn't have a ton of time to devote to going off the beaten path, but the side quests I did come across felt surprisingly fleshed out. Yeah, there's some go here and kill this and come back kind of stuff, but that's not all by any means. I'll take these over any Assassin's Creed side quest. These let you explore the world, which is nice. Now, main quests are actually a little less impressive. A lot of the main storyline just follows this formula. Receive an assignment to help some folks take care of business, and then run over to this place over here and find a big baddie hiding somewhere in there. You have to find him, and then you kill him. And then you receive another assignment to help some folks take care of business, and then it repeats from there. Ideally, you'd break this up, though, with side questing and crafting and stuff like that, make it feel more natural. So if you run through this,
you're gonna have a bad time.
Combat is not bad. It could be tighter, but it's not bad. It feels a little, kind of loose or sluggish, if that makes sense. Like, hitboxes are fine, and balancing is all right, and blocking and parrying works well, but it didn't feel as immediate and visceral as I've become accustomed to. It felt like a conversation where two people talk around each other as opposed to a punchy back and forth, but still, it passes muster. There are a good handful of playstyles you can mess around with, whether you're a nimble swordsman with a shield, or you're a heavy hammer wielder who just smacks people around, or you're like a wily magic user throwing ice and fire and earthbending and stuff. It borrows a little from Skyrim by virtue of the fact that you strengthen skills as you use them. Going back to quests, quest tracking can be a little pesky. The game's really designed to be played with a minimal HUD, with no quest trackers, actually, sort of like a Morrowind type thing, I think. Like, somebody tells you, go over here and find a doodad, and from there you just, follow the directions and the clues to figure out where to go. Actually, I like that. It's a great concept, and I'm kind of bummed out that I wasn't able to, devote more time to explore that way of playing. Because of time, I had to turn quest markers on, and that didn't ruin the experience by any means, but that's just kind of more proof that this game is made to get lost in. Now for some shoutouts, odds, and ends that clicked with me. If you followed my reviews for a bit now, then you will not be surprised to hear I have some thoughts on the soundtrack. And the soundtrack here is pretty good. It has the exact sort of orchestral lilt that I want from my fantasy. Next, I'm impressed with how immersive the game ends up feeling. Conventional wisdom nowadays would have you believe that you need Rockstar money to build a world that you can believe exists when you're not looking at it, but Forsaken Realms, I think, manages to pull it off with not Rockstar resources. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but I buy into it, which is critical for any RPG. Also, it has a pretty solid voice cast.
I pray that fortune will deliver to me a fine young hunter.
For the most part, everyone in the voice cast sounds like a professional who believes what they're saying. And I didn't hear anyone sleepwalking through their lines or just being really cringy or awkward. And that's not a given, even in AAA titles. So that's very cool. As for rainouts, things that fell short, it's commendable that the developers took on the task of going with an art style that skews towards photorealism. That's pretty ambitious, but I wonder if a more stylized, even cel-shaded approach, maybe in the style of like Breath of the Wild or something, would have done them better. As it is, the presentation's rough edges can be glaring. Enemy AI is kind of lackluster. They'll not respond when you're pretty close by, or not even do anything when you're loading them full of arrows. So that's kind of not the most realistic aspect of the game. It wasn't like a huge deal breaker for me, but if you're kind of really big into smart AI, this may not quite be there yet. So, okay, with all that said, what do I need you to take away from all this? Vahrin's Call does not knock it out of the park, but that does not mean it's not worth your time. It makes it to at least second base. It's rough around the edges sometimes, but if you look at it, you can see the amazing and ambitious vision that the developers were going for. And if you want a new world to get lost in that was not made by Todd Howard or J.R.R. Tolkien, then give this a shot, especially if you're in the mood to roam around this handcrafted playground. But if you're in the mood for maybe a faster-paced dose of dopamine, then this might not be your speed right now. I'd at least put this on your wish list and see how it feels. Vahrin's Call earns a bronze lamp from me, and that's not nothing. What's there is cool, very cool, and I would be interested to see what a tighter sequel would look like.
Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel to help us continue to be able to bring a voice to the voiceless. Join the over 60,000 indie warriors that have said goodbye to the gaming echo chamber. For even more support, head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where you can get Discord access, early shows, exclusive content, and more, now with a brand new $2 entry tier. Or check out YouTube memberships for exclusive badges, custom emoji, and other fun perks. Support real people making real things, because here at I Dream of Indie Games, it's always about the games.